Hey everyone, welcome back. Day 5, Xi'an, China. So we're going deep into the interior. This is actually the original capital of China. Never been there before, an amazing city. We got up early in the morning. We're going to see the terracotta soldiers, saw all kinds of cool things on the drive out. Huge, amazing complexes everywhere. There's a city of about 9 million. Had lots of fun. We got out to the terracotta soldiers site. It was absolutely beautiful. And this is where farmers who were digging a well found these broken arms and things from the soldiers, and they discovered this unbelievable find of thousands of terracotta soldiers that were actually life-size, every one of them totally different, unique, and they were done over a period of, I believe, 14 years it took to build this. This is the grave site of the emperor, the most important emperor in Chinese history, actually, and it's just unbelievable. The detail, the craftsmanship. The bodies were made separate from the heads, so the bodies were hollow, so that when they put them in the kilns, they wouldn't explode. And I looked at this guy's got a desk right actually out in the middle of the floor. Talk about going to the Gemba. I thought this was as good as it gets. But then this is the hospital area where they take and put the figures back together. And this guy actually is incapacitated. He's got a sheet over the top of him. I don't know why. And you can see a scientist out there putting one of them back together out there. This whole area here is all the hospital area. But absolutely fascinating. The best thing about this was the lighting was really good. Normally you go to these museums, have terrible lighting. They had nice natural light coming in, which really made it a lot more enjoyable for us to be able to see it. You can see the natural light coming in underneath the entire pit. Now there's 4 or 5 different pits. There's lots of them. And this is kind of what they found, basically. They were all very discombobulated and broken up. Some were in better shape than others, obviously, but they have to put these all back together. What a find. 2,300 years old. And so they put them down and they put wood over the top of them, and then the wood caved in with the soil over time and then caved in on top of them, and then they found them. So they were dug deep into the ground, and you can see these are the pilasters on each side that supported the columns. Then we went and saw some of the original ones. This is a kneeling or crouching soldier, which is absolutely stunning. And they were all beautifully painted as well. So they had fantastic color on them too, but when they got exposed to light, that all went away. And this is the general. He has one finger sticking out, meaning there's one person above him, and that is the emperor. So just beautiful beyond belief. It's just hard to even get a hold of these, particularly when you think about how old they were. And again, the detail and craftsmanship and the preservation of them. This is another high officer and another one here. Now, afterwards, we actually got to go to a place that makes replicas of these, and I picked out a couple that I might be able to get home. I don't know if it's all going to work out, but we'll see what happens. But look at the detail in these things. They're just spectacular. I thought they'd be beautiful in my Japanese garden. You never know what you might be seeing in my Japanese garden lately. But here's another one right here. This is a horse and a soldier side by side. They had horses, they had chariots. It was just hard to comprehend. And this was an archer getting ready to spring into action. And again, just so interesting. And some of the people were more robust than others, you know, I thought they would all be really thin, but they weren't. They were actually pretty big. This guy was more thin. This is a beautiful chariot and horses, and there were lots of those down there as well. And then this is the place I went and found one. This is the one I found. Great detail on everything. And I'm gonna see if I can't bring it home, and then I'll have an actual replica terracotta soldier in my garden. You never know, might work out, we'll see what happens. A little American patriotism there on that scooter, and guess where we're going next? To a construction site. So everywhere I go in the world, I'm always looking for a different experience. See what those are? Hard hats. We are going up there. We're gonna go look at one of the apartment complexes that I'm always showing everybody, so you can see how they're built. We understand the quality and everything else. We asked, we pushed a little bit, and they let us do it. You know, one of my favorite sayings is, if you don't ask, the answer is always no. So I asked. I said, I want to get inside one of these condo developments. And the guide looked at me like, are you crazy? We've never done anything like that before. I go, well, you're with Paul Akers. We don't know what kind of stuff we're going to do. So I spend a lot of time in job sites like this in Kazakhstan. This is exactly the kind of projects that the BI Group builds. I really wanted to see the quality of their projects, compare it side by side, and also see what the Chinese construction industry was doing. So believe it or not, we found a way to do it. She had a contact. We got in there. We were able to get inside of it. It was very cool. We looked at a 2-bedroom apartment. Very, very interesting. We had a great time. And then on the way back out, we got to compare what the old structures were like and what the new structures were like, just so we could see how everything was progressing in China. And honestly, it was quite amazing. high quality in terms of very structurally sound. Maybe not quite the quality that a lot of us are used to, but actually very good. I was very impressed. This is the original housing that the government will tear down so they can build these. But boy, has China come a long way. Next, on to the original city gates and wall of Xi'an. Now, this is just unbelievable. Massive gates. They're 600 years old, and they've restored them not that long ago, maybe about 30 years ago. They look fantastic. You can ride bikes along the top of them. Just massive structure. You think the Great Wall is big? This is even bigger, and this is the original wall that surrounded the city of Xi'an. It was absolutely incredible. Then we went to the Muslim area, the Muslim district, which was very interesting because there's a lot of Muslims in this city. Actually, only about 1%, but there's a big Muslim contingency. They all came from Iran, and then they settled here, and they intermingled just fine. Everything's good, no tension, everything's great. And we went to one of the oldest Muslim mosque in all of China, and it was very interesting as well. Beautiful architecture, very old, no nails in any of the structures, everything put together with mortise and tenon. Just a beautiful structure and a beautiful look. And man, did we have full days. So we went in for a quick foot massage and pedicure. It was awesome. And then on to the night market or night area. Now remember, this is a city of 9 million people, and this is like a giant mall, if you will. It's the most beautiful mall I've ever been in. Miles long, laser lights, water shows, the most incredible Starbucks I've ever been inside in my entire life. This is called a Reserve. Now this is deep into the interior of China. It's just absolutely incredible. Most people have never even heard of this city, Xi'an, although it's a major city in China, but it's not the size of Beijing or Shanghai. And this mall was mind-boggling. We walked for literally hours. Everybody was out. It was civilized. It was super clean. There was hardly anyone smoking. Everybody was acting respectfully. I was really blown away at the conduct of the people and just the whole atmosphere. Lots of family, lots of young people, and there was nobody doing anything devious at all. And it was just like the most spectacular place I've ever seen in my life. It made Disneyland, frankly, look bad. I'm serious. It was better than Disneyland, and it was free. There's no admission. It's just, this is the main mall in the middle of the city that everyone goes to and hangs out at night. They have water shows, they have laser shows, they have free entertainment, they have venues everywhere where people are playing and musicians are playing. They have these fantastic sculptures everywhere that look like, I couldn't even believe it. They were antiquities or representations of their antiquities. They had great food everywhere. It was the most interesting place. I was just beside myself. My jaw was dropped. I was going, how could this be? I mean, you go to Disneyland, you expect to pay $200 to get into this, and this is something that's available to everybody every night. So there you go. Day 5, Xi'an, China. Unbelievable.